Hi, I'm Jenny, and thanks for stopping by the Unconventional Homestead. I'm freeze drying chicken. I'm gonna cook it and then freeze dry it, reconstitute it, see how it does. I've not ever done chicken, but I think it's gonna work out really well. Anyway, this is a collaboration video with Natasha from the Budget Preppers. May food last long term 23. So it's hashtag long, may it last 23. I'll get it right eventually. So all I'm doing now is cutting it up into bite-size pieces. I tried to keep the mess in, but it didn't work. So, I don't really want shredded chicken. I just want some bite sizes, and I just think it'll be better if it's not too large. These were chicken tenders that I got in my last Azure standard order. And I think it'll be nice. I'm gonna cut some of this icky off, but anyway, and then I'm going to use my Instapot. That's how I cook chicken most of the time. And I'll bring you back when I'm pulling it out. What I do is just 25 minutes, and that's it. So I'll bring you back. The chicken turned out wonderful. Look, I drained off exactly 4 cups of broth. And I have to tell you, it smells amazing. So what I'm going to do with that is I am going to take a tray and a lid out to the freezer and pour it in to freeze dry it after the chicken is done, but then it'll be frozen and ready to go. And I'll make sure I put a note on it that it is organic chicken broth, because I don't want to forget that fact that is organic, and that it's chicken. You think you're gonna remember, and you know, when you get 70, 80, 100 batches, you don't remember. And so it's always best. I just put it right on the tray, not on the lid, because the lid comes off when it goes in the freeze dryer. So I'm going to put this over here, and I will do that in a little bit. Let me show you. So now the other thing is I did not do 10 pounds because I don't want to overpack meat. I will sometimes get rhubarb. We have lots of rhubarb. I probably overpack the trays that are in the freezer right now, waiting to go into Nelly. And usually I don't do this, but I'm going to do these first in Nelly because it's for a collaboration and I need to get the video out. So I always like to make sure I have it ready to go. So these will go in the freeze dryer, and I'll put it in tomorrow night is my plan. So they'll be very frozen, which will be good. And we'll see. I'm hoping to get 4 trays, but maybe we'll only get 3. I don't know. Let's see. I'm going to do one more, and then I'll just bring you back. But this will be perfect, because I could always shred it, but yet there's chunks. You know, I'm thinking like for enchiladas and chicken salad, things like that. I think I might only get 3 trays, and then I can do the broth with this, which would be good. We'll just have a chicken. So next time I know that I can definitely do 10 pounds of chicken and it'll be just fine. So I'll bring you back when I have these ready. So I got 3 trays of chicken and 1 chicken broth in the deep freezer because I don't have room in my refrigerator freezer that I normally use, but this will be fine. I think I'll put the broth in the refrigerator freezer and these other 3 trays in the chest, or the chest freezer. So I'll bring you back when I'm putting her in Nellie tomorrow night. It's time to put the cooked organic chicken in Nellie. It looks good. It's frozen. I've been cooling Nellie. She's at 13 degrees, so we can put them in. I also have the tray of broth with our label. It smells really good too. I have 2 sets of lids and 3 sets of pans so that I can have 2 things in the freezer ready to go. Now, I don't always, but I try to, because life happens, and it's really nice to not have to wait, and I can get something in Nellie. So I have to make sure to close the drain valve. It tells you up here in all cap letters, close drain valve, but I've still forgotten. And then I have to take it out, refreeze it, and start over. So let's avoid that today. Press continue, and I'll bring you back when it's done. Chicken's done, or at least Nellie says she's done. It's been, let's see here, 36 hours for the chicken. It's on extra dry time, but I'm not going to include that. So let's just see here what it looks like. So I'm going to make sure that I open the drain valve. So we have 3 trays of cooked organic chicken and 1 tray of organic chicken broth. So let's take a look. It looks really good. I think I like it reconstituted, but it tastes actually really good, flavorful, just like chicken. So let's okay, there we go. This is my 8-quart Canberra. I do have lids for them, but I don't need them with this. I labeled the Mylar already, and I made sure to put cooked organic chicken. I think I'd be able to tell, but you know, if it was an emergency situation, I don't want to have to guess. That is a nice full bag, and I will put my oxygen absorbers in all at the same time before I impulse seal them. Oh yeah, this looks beautiful. So I put the tray right into the Cambro. You do want to feel it, so I had washed my hands before I started. I wiped down the table before I started because you don't want to have any germs on the food. This is a water softening funnel, and it just allows me to have a bigger place to aim the whatever I'm freeze drying. And again, I didn't use any parchment or silicone. I have them and I have used them, but I find that I don't need them. Stuff doesn't stick too terribly bad. I got a little jar so that we can reconstitute this upstairs. And then I have the broth and I can feel it. It feels good. Usually I have a, oh here, I can use this. This is a French fry scoop. What I do with, okay, and the other, trying to tell you two things at once. I make sure to take these labels off because if I don't take them off now, I can stick it on the side of the table. If it stays there, that's okay. But I want to deal with Nelly. I always let it defrost, so I'm going to say no defrost because that means it's not going to heat up. There is some ice, but not bad. And then I'm going to just turn it off and I'll let it rest until tomorrow morning before I go to work. I have 4 trays already in the freezer to go in, Nelly. I'll come down and take this tray, this gasket off and this tray out and unplug it. And I wipe it all down and then dump the drain bucket, and then I put it all back together, turn it on, and it has to cool for at least 15 minutes. Usually ends up being half an hour to 45 minutes. But let me bring you down for this broth. This is how I do it. I just chop it up. Now I could put it in my NutriBullet right away, but I found it stays better if I don't do that. Okay. And then I have a jar. Now in this one, I put a moisture absorber. You're going to want to do a little research. I'll tell you, there is some conflicting information out there. So I do my best to do the right thing. So far, I haven't had a problem, but we just hope for the best. So I am going to put in these chicken low moisture oxygen absorbers. Because meat, I'm just a little more concerned. Number one, meat is extremely expensive. So if this was, I don't like to waste any food, but you can lose a lot more in this bag of meat than I would, let's say, my homegrown rhubarb. To me, my homegrown rhubarb, I mean, we get a lot. So I'd still be sad because I went to all that work and I washed it and I cut it and, used a moisture absorber and wasted a Mylar bag. But it would not be as bad as over 2 pounds of organic chicken. So I try to do the best I can to keep it. So I'm going to impulse seal these and then we're going to go upstairs and reconstitute this little bit. So I poured the chicken into a bowl. I'm going to add some warm water is what I found works best. Now what I plan to do with this is I will probably be using it for like enchiladas. So I would heat up my enchilada sauce and have that. It is smelling like chicken already. It's just amazing to me that so we'll let it sit here. Although I have to tell you, the big pieces are getting reconstituted. I mean, they're not completely dry, so that's really good. But I'm going to let it sit for 5 minutes and I'll come right back. So I'm going to add just a little salt and pepper because I cooked this and didn't really do anything to it. And to be real honest, I don't normally just eat plain chicken. So, but as I was waiting for this to reconstitute, I thought this would be really good for chicken salad or chicken and noodles or chicken and dumplings. But anyway, it looks good. There's nothing telling me like I wouldn't just eat this plain other than I don't normally eat it plain. But here we go. I will tell you, so I had that little bite downstairs and I don't know that I would eat it dry. I like beef jerky, but it's not beef jerky. Beef or meat, it's not beef jerky because it's chicken, but it's not jerky. I love jerky, but it is too dry for jerky. So I would definitely want to add some water, but to be real honest, just the warm water, it's fine. So in the event of an emergency, if I just had water, I could reconstitute this chicken and it would be fine. A little salt and pepper would be good, but again, it was fine just plain, and it's good. So let me know in the comments below if you have a freeze dryer, if you'll be freeze drying some chicken. I'm excited to get the rest of the chicken out of my freezer. I don't have a full load, so I'm going to have to do some ground beef and some chicken, but it's all cooked meat, so it'll be fine. And get that all out of there. So make sure that you go and check all of the other content creators' videos in the hashtag #MayItLast23. Make sure you stop by Natasha at the Budget Preppers. She's had some great videos lately. I've really enjoyed them. And she's going to have a giveaway. So make sure you get those details. And until next time, preserve your food.